This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, your community access media station. Thanks to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.
I'm a dreamer of 3D pictures. I'm a traveler of a different kind.
It's Nikki Paeliki here from Dyslexia Unpuzzled, right here in Hawke's Bay. Welcome to our monthly podcast where we dive into incredible stories of transformation and triumph from members of our community. At Dyslexia Unpuzzled, we're passionate about supporting neurodiverse individuals and their families to overcome challenges, whether it's with learning, focus, or navigating life with neurodivergence. As always, we are broadcasting on Radio Hawke's Bay at 104.7 FM and 1431 AM. This month I am delighted to welcome Mrs. Vikki Paeliki from One Less Thing Limited, who is an accomplished mental health first aid instructor. Welcome along, Vikki. It's lovely to have us with you this morning.
Thanks so much for having me here, Nikki. What a great opportunity and what a glorious day we've got today.
Oh, it is a glorious day. I'm glad you've got one in Auckland there too, because it's just stunning in Hawke's Bay. So that's good. So just to start this morning, Vikki, could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your role?
Yes, absolutely. So my name's Vikki Paeliki. I married an awesome Niuean fellow, hence Paeliki is my surname. So for the last 8 years, I have been facilitating a mental health first aid workshop. And more recently, actually just last week, I upskilled and now facilitate a youth mental health first aid workshop. So we can talk more about that as we go along.
Wow. Yeah. That's very cool, just doing the specific one for youth. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, well, very excited, and hence I'm really keen to talk to you a little bit more about that today.
Okay, well, we'll park that for a minute, but and come back to it. But first of all, what inspired you, Vikki, to get into this space? Was there a moment or an experience that cemented this as your calling?
Yeah, what an awesome question. So at so I've done over 25 years in the banking sector internationally, and I moved to New Zealand to work in the banking sector. And I met my husband later in life and had my first baby at the age of 38, and I actually got blown down by postnatal depression. My thought process was actually to go back to the work. Couldn't wait to get back to work, actually, and ensured that my job was there waiting for me when I had the baby. But very quickly I realised I needed to take a new career path.
Okay, yeah.
That's the reason where I am today.
Right. Well, that's really cool, isn't it? Yes, that postnatal depression can certainly be something that bowls you over and sends you on quite a new, different trajectory.
Yeah, it certainly did.
Yes. So, Vikki, dyslexia has played a significant role in your journey. Could you share your experience with dyslexia and how it has impacted you throughout your life?
Yeah, look, I think anybody that has dyslexia or potentially might have a loved one with dyslexia might relate to this story. But I, at a young age, in the schooling systems, primary school systems in Australia, I remember having to go to extra reading classes and didn't really understand why. And I recall one time at recess, I had to sit outside and write notes about why I didn't learn my spelling words over the weekend, and I'm really feeling punished. So I was always undiagnosed dyslexia, but I think the biggest impact it had me on myself throughout life is imposter syndrome. At an early age, I did some good schooling, and at an early age I got a job in the bank quite young, and And I managed to, at one point when I was 25, was working for the CEO of one of the head banks in Sydney. And I remember him asking me to dictate something whilst he watched over my shoulder, and I just completely froze. And I think I just, throughout my career, clearly I was getting promotions and getting really good jobs, but I always felt like a fraud. I always was concerned about somebody finding out that I didn't know how to spell. And that was a big burden. Like I carried that luggage with me for a long time until, as an adult, when I had my son, he also is dyslexic, and I did a bit of research and found out that it's hereditary, and now I just want my son to make sure that he doesn't have to feel like that he's in the wrong place. I think it was a real burden for me growing up, and I was always trying to hide it. That's what I remember.
Yeah, a lot of people do feel that they need to hide their true identity, I suppose, their true selves through feeling of inadequacy or not quite fitting in to everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But if I had a little bit of self-belief, I would have realised that there was a reason that I was getting these roles. You don't just get them for no reason. You get them because you work hard.
Absolutely.
I think that I just would work doubly as hard to make sure that nobody would ever know.
Yeah. And I think that's the scenario with a lot of people that have got dyslexia as a neurodiverse trait, is that they work doubly hard and to try and overcompensate for the barriers or their perceived barriers that they have and challenges that they have. So you said that you know that dyslexia is hereditary. So and you've talked about your son. Have you seen similar experience in any of your other children or relatives?
Yes, absolutely. Surprisingly enough, I just got a note from my daughter's school last week to say that her reading level was below. So I just, because of my journey, I have ensured that firstly, my son has been diagnosed. I knew that my daughter was struggling. I haven't had her diagnosed as yet, but clearly the school has picked it up, so I'm really pleased about that as well. So absolutely it's hereditary, but through my learnings, I'm trying to ensure that my son has a superpower, and we can talk more about that as we go along.
Yeah. Well, just while you're there, because I was just going to say dyslexia isn't about just reading and writing, so tell us about your son's superpower.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. And this is the good news. For those that are listening today, I just want to share a message of hope. And as we progress, as we learn, and exactly what Nikki has done, and I really commend you, Nikki, for breaking out of the normal learning systems and recognising that there's actually a need out there. Look, I knew 1 in 5 of us, I don't know if the statistics are 1 in 4 potentially now, but 1 in 5 of us are born with dyslexia. So what does that mean? What does that mean? I've had to ask myself, I'm in the latter part of life now, so it's taken me a long time. Look, I'm happy to boast about it now. More than anything, I'm happy to tell people that I am dyslexic, because I know that it's brought so many more qualities that I can bring. So dyslexic people, we're very broad thinkers, we're visionary thinkers. We have an opportunity to plan and make change. At times we can be leaders, but we also need support people behind us to help us where we need to grow. So, for example, I know a CEO of head of Auckland Hospital that had a dyslexia, and just made sure that had a proofreader there and all the additional support that you need. So people with dyslexia really look at the world in a different way, and a more of a three-dimensional way, and maybe Nikki can explain more what that means. But I've now learnt that we have some awesome talents that we can bring. One of them, because we don't read and write, we listen a lot, and our vocabulary can be quite extensive because probably that's one of our secret powers. We probably, because we find it difficult to read and write, we grow in other areas, and one of the other areas that we grow in is our communication skills.
That's fantastic, Vikki, and I'm just so pleased that you have got to that stage that you recognise yourself superpower, and it's just so lovely to hear of people in those top roles realising that, yes, they've got everything, they can do everything, they just need some support with that reading, and a proofreader is a perfect example of that. So
I think the biggest message that I would like to get across is, look, I worked in a communications department in a banking sector, and they would often mock or make fun of people that were not spelling correctly. So I know we do these things, but I would just really need people to know that dyslexia does not equal dumb. That's the biggest message that I want people to understand.
Absolutely right. In fact, they're some of the most intelligent and, like you say, broad thinkers that we have. They're just incredible problem solvers, and like you said, brilliant communicators. So that's cool. Yeah. So in your work as a mental health first aid presenter or provider, do you see a connection between learning challenges like dyslexia and mental well-being?
Oh, Nikki, 100%. I cannot express how they're both entwined with each other. I'm at the age of 53 now, and it's taken me that long to be able to talk comfortably about myself. But statistics show in our prison systems, the prison systems are full of dyslexia, full of diverse learning, because we get lost. We get absolutely lost in the learning system, and when we get lost, we can be disruptive in the classroom. And with disruption, the teachers turn a blind eye. They don't want to teach that student because they're too much trouble. And there is exactly where the cycle begins. So with mental health first aid, we always talk about early intervention. So if you think about being a youth right now at school, bullying is huge at school, and my daughter just started her middle school now, and she came home just her very first week of middle school, and she said that she was mocked by a child because she didn't know how to read a particular word. And appreciate that that's children behaviour, but what is mostly important is to let my child know that clearly that wasn't very nice of the person to do that, but you know how awesome you are, you know that you can get it. And any child that has dyslexia, and if you're a parent of a child of dyslexia, it is constant reinforcement. Yep, that's not one skill you have, but guess what? You've got these amazing skills. So take the negative out of it and always replace it with a positive. And this needs to be managed right throughout the schooling, because if you don't jump on top of, you can't change your deck of cards, right? You can't change your deck of cards, but we can learn how to manage things differently. And if parents can jump on board as soon as they see that their child is struggling, give the learning opportunity to somebody like yourself, Nikki, that is skilled with those qualifications, but a parent needs to be on top of the mental wellness of the child, because it can have overwhelming repercussions if we don't get on top of it. With anxiety particularly, with feeling bad about themselves because they're not normal. Oh, goodness me, if I could remove this word normal from their vocabulary, I would. Nikki, I'll stop talking there because I could go on forever and ever and ever. I'm so very passionate about it.
It's just wonderful to hear that passion in your voice, Vikki, and what your messages are just so very true, aren't they? You know, and it's just our kids, unfortunately, they just get the real bad end of the stick when they're struggling through school. So I can see how that impacts on the youth of today. And you wanted to talk about, Vikki, your youth program that you're doing. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. It is awesome. So mental health first aid is licensed by Te Po here in Aotearoa, and it's run internationally throughout 24 countries in the world, and Aotearoa, New Zealand, have just adopted the youth mental health first aid program. So we've currently had an adult program, but now we have youth. So with the youth mental health first aid program, we facilitate a 2-day program that teaches you how to recognise early warning signs of depression, anxiety, substance misuse, psychosis and eating disorders. So it's a perfect opportunity to jump on board, learn a few things, how to approach a child. You know, the child always is attacking a parent. We're the first ones that can take their brunt. They've got frustration. They only know how to take their frustration out on their loved ones. But this workshop will teach you how to engage, will teach you. Interesting. Here's a fact for your audience. Did you know that one of the best times to speak to your youth is whilst you're driving? So, you know, when you pick them up from school, how was your day? Usually you'll get fine, same as yesterday. But on the weekend, if you want to go for just a wellness drive with your youth, it's a perfect opportunity for them to open up and talk about what's going on with them, because the conversation can just free flow because you're not talking to each other and you're just driving in the car. So I hope that's a helpful hint for your teens. Maybe pick it up one time when you're driving with them.
That's a really, really good idea, isn't it? A wellness drive. I love that. Yeah, that's excellent. So how do people get onto that program, Vikki? It sounds an incredible opportunity.
It is an awesome opportunity, and I'm really excited. We've got, I'm actually running a workshop over at the North Shore at the beginning of next month, but please just jump onto my website, www.onelessthing, or you can just jump on the phone and feel free to give me a call at any time.
Okay, so for people here in Hawke's Bay, is there anything here that they could jump on and because I know our youth in Hawke's Bay, it seems, well, we've got lots of people struggling here. 20% of our population are struggling here, so is there anything available down here, or is there a way that, is there an online option? Or
Yeah, there is, Nikki. That's a really awesome question too. That's actually one of the biggest things people say, where do I start? Where do I go? So, look, please reach out to myself, but there are some amazing online resources, and happy to be text to find out what's more, but justathought.co.nz, justathought.co.nz. That is a website that you can go on, and if you think that you're struggling with anxiety, if you think that you're struggling with alcohol and addiction problems, you can go on that website and you can just do a self-assessment test. It'll be an answer A, B, or C question, and then it'll populate and it'll go, wow, yeah, maybe this is something we can think of, and here is where you can go to get help. So this is what I love about, there's many websites out there, but because I work for Te Po, Just a Thought are under the WISE group, so I just am recommending those. But if you're Pacific Islander, I would suggest that you go to a website called Leva, Leva. They have also free tools that you can go on and do a assessment to say, yeah, I think I may need some work, and then after that they'll give you numerous resources to where to go and get some help. So look, I could go again, there's so many places to go, but they're just two for now that I would highly recommend, that you can jump on board on your website and find out a little bit more. But lastly, I'll leave you with an emergency number. If you are concerned about a member of your family or somebody from the public, please phone 1737, or you can text that number. You don't have to phone it. And it is a 24-hour, 7-day a week service where you can go to get immediate help. So if you feel like somebody is struggling, 1737, phone the number and they'll triage you. So they'll ask what's happening, you'll tell them, and then from there, if you need immediate emergency assistance, they will get it out to you. If not, then they will triage you. So there's a couple of opportunities for people to be able to head to.
Oh, that's fantastic to share that information, Vikki, because, you know, it is the thing, you know you're struggling, but where do you go? Where do you turn? Where do you look? So
Exactly.
to have something just right at your fingertips like that, you know, so it would be awesome to attend one of your workshops in person, but it's a bit, you know, we'll have to jump on a plane to do that another day. But,
yeah, but I do actually travel internationally right throughout New Zealand.
You do?
So, yes. So you don't need to come to Auckland to attend a workshop. Should you need a workshop within your area, I don't usually do a public workshop, but I certainly will organise a corporate workshop or for sports groups, YMCA, whomever. I'm very willing to travel. It is such an amazing message. We need to get it out there. I will travel to get the message out there.
Oh, that is amazing. That is so cool. Well, if you do have the opportunity to come to Hawke's Bay, or maybe we can put our heads together, Vikki, and organise something in Hawke's Bay.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You might have to take that up offline.
I think we will have to take it up. So, Vikki, do you have any last thoughts that you would like to share with us before you go?
Yeah, I just want our community to know that there is no such thing as normal anymore. If you find that your child is struggling, I want you to absolutely take action, but I don't want you to panic, because my dyslexia is pretty much non-existent, and that's through our additional reading, additional writing, additional learning. My very last message is just keep telling our kids how awesome they are. If we can work on constructive, positive energy as opposed to them feeling like a failure, then that will be an added bonus to get them through this struggle and this journey of dyslexia.
That is just a fantastic message, Vikki, to leave us with. So could you please give us those details again of how people, or what programs are available, and how people can reach out to someone for help?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again for the opportunity. So mental health first aid, what does that mean? It means that we jump in on early intervention. So we run my business runs an adult version. So adult is from 18 and above. Youth is below 18. And we even do an online version. So if you're rural and you're stuck and you can't make it out to get to a local destination, I do a workplace online mental health first aid too. So we reach out to everybody. So www.onelessthing.co.nz or Vikki Paeliki 021 028 54223, and please follow me on LinkedIn because I constantly send out lots of amazing tips. Nikki, thank you so much for this opportunity. It's been great.
It's been an absolute pleasure to talk with you, Vikki, and just to hear the passion that you have behind your cause. I just think it's amazing. So thank you again for coming along. So if you have any feedback or would like to share your thoughts, please feel free to email me at dyslexiaunpuzzled@gmail.com. You can also connect with me on social media with Dyslexia Unpuzzled or Nikki Paeliki. So I'm there, and I often share tips and videos that give you some tools to help with people that have dyslexia as well, or other neurodiversity. Thank you again for tuning in today on Radio Hawke's Bay, 104.7 FM and 14:31 AM. If you miss part of the program or want to share it with others, it will replay on Tuesday at 12 o'clock PM, so spread the word. Thanks again for listening. Nikki Paeliki from Dyslexia Unpuzzled. That was just nothing short of incredible. You're amazing.
That was fun. That was really fun.
So I hope we stop. Just recording a blurb to go with my interview this morning with Mrs. Vikki Paeliki. Vikki's journey with dyslexia and mental health advocacy is a powerful testament to resilience, self-discovery and the impact of the right to support. As a mental health first aid instructor, she shares valuable insights into the connection between learning challenges and emotional well-being, offering practical strategies for navigating both these things. From her personal experience with dyslexia to her work empowering individuals in the mental health space, Vikki reminds us that understanding and support can change everything. If you missed today's episode of Dyslexia Unpuzzled, catch the replay on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock PM or visit our website for past episodes. Until next time, take care and keep championing the unique strengths in yourself and others.
Of 3D pictures, I'm a traveler of a different kind.
This program was produced by and first broadcast on Radio Hawke's Bay, a community access media station. Thank you to New Zealand On Air for making this type of programming possible.